All right, everyone. Well, welcome to our MVP Alliance AI Power Hour. I am your co-host, filling in for the wonderful RJ Redding. I am
Yes.
Jamie Ann Pelies, and if you want to know a little bit about me, I am an entrepreneur. My main businesses are Enter Shell In and Profit on Knowledge, but I also help other businesses that I see have a vision to be able to flourish and grow. I wear many, many hats. If you need help with graphic design, web design, all kinds of different things, and you have an awesome project like MVP Alliance, I am here to serve. So I am not only your co-host for the week, but I'm also helping MVP Alliance to show up and show out. And we also have our MVP Barack, who is the mastermind behind the MVP Alliance, on with us as well. And let me go ahead and give a shout out to Hagai and Yaniv, who are also on. What we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with the MVP Alliance, some new changes that are coming up very soon. And then we're going to roll into talking about some major changes that are happening in social media, as well as how AI is going to help us in our social media marketing, getting to, find the right market and then some for 2025 and beyond. So that's going to be basically the synopsis of the show. And we're going to go ahead and take questions also at the very end. So if you guys have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and just throw them in the chat while you're waiting and stuff. And then towards the end, we'll call on you. If you can, make sure to have your mic and your video cam all set up prior to that. So if you need to do any testing while we're talking, feel free to go ahead and do so. All right, MVP Barack, do you have anything you want to quickly share with everyone before we get into some of the updates?
Well, we've been working hard for the last year, for the last year. But with Team Awesome, which are Jamie and RJ, we've been working hard on some on the AI Power Hours, and we've been working hard on the social media and website. So we got tons of exciting news coming. Um, I hope I didn't steal that from you, because that's
No,
all I
no,
got right now.
I know. Yeah, I'll go into more details. So that's
All
beautiful. You're
right.
kind of setting it up for me and everything like that. So I appreciate that. So some of the stuff that's going to be happening with the MVP Alliance, one, helping rebrand the website and just give it a new look and feel. I'm going to be super excited to share with you guys that next week. At least we'll have the first phase wrapped up and stuff and ready to show off next week. RJ is also helping to create the virtual community space that's going to also be a part of the membership site. It's going to be really cool. There's going to be the ability to co-work. We're going to have events inside of the space, and even our awesome Barack will have some open office hours for members and stuff like that, where they know, hey, I can always go into Barack's office during these times and get help. So it's just one of the many ways that we're helping bridge the gap of us being around the world so we can all meet up together and mastermind and help each other grow. Because that's really what about, MVP Alliance is all about. It's for hands-on marketers, hands-on content creators, hands-on entrepreneurs that are really in their business, making things happen every single day. And we want to make sure that we can help you guys and gals to be able to do that more efficiently, more effectively, and better yet, not alone. So you have a place you can mastermind and grow and make some awesome networking connections at the same time. So that's what we're working on behind the scenes, as well as we're going to be looking for people to come on these weekly webinars that we're going to be doing every Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to mark it in your calendar. Don't forget,
That's
just put it
right.
on
That's
there,
right.
make the time, because it's always going to help you to stay connected with what's new going on to help you grow your business. So let's talk a little bit about what is going on. I think we should just start with the TikTok. What do you think? Because that's pretty big news.
The news part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest news. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So Barack sent me this earlier. This was coming from Forbes.com. And if any of you guys know, I also live in the United States. So this is definitely big news for me and a lot of the content creators here in the United States. I don't know if any of the people watching this realize there's a huge economy on TikTok. There are people making anywhere from tens to hundreds of $1,000s a month, not just with the affiliate part of the TikTok shop, but some people with the TikTok shop itself selling their own products and services and everything like that. So with this ban that's coming up, and that's if it stands. I'm really hoping that something will happen with the next administration that's coming in, and maybe a deal will be able to work out. But right now, as it stands, a lot of people are going to be losing a lot of their monetary, monthly and yearly income, and I think that's going to take a toll on a lot of content creators, especially ones that are just sticking to TikTok. I've met lots of people over the years that like that's their baby and that's where they're staying. And I think this is also an important thing to bring up is why we should not be platform specific or just singled in on one platform all the time because they do come and go. I'm sure everyone remembers MySpace. So hopefully I'm not dating myself too much and a bunch of other things. And MySpace, in my personal opinion, was way cooler than Facebook, but somehow Facebook ended up winning that battle of attrition and stuff like that. And so, unfortunately, social media companies and even the tools that we use, sometimes they don't last forever for one reason or another, whether it's bad marketing, not growing with the times, or, just they're not able to keep their funding up and things like that. So don't be platform specific. Have your, I don't want to say have your net too wide because I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed either as content
Too thin,
creators and
right?
entrepreneurs. But I would say, have a couple different baskets that you're pulling leads in and getting exposure and getting followers from. Don't just be stuck on one platform because here's what they're saying right now. TikTok users are heading to Red Note, which is
A similar
apparently
platform.
something similar from
Yeah.
what I'm understanding. I haven't personally been on Red Note, um, but it seems like that this app also has similar issues. So I imagine it would just be a matter of when, with these security issues and things like that, that Red Note might also be something that, gets deplatformed. Because right now TikTok's like, hey, we don't want no drama. We don't want no problems. So they're going to be literally shutting down the use for the US consumers right now. That's as of right now. That could change. I don't know if you guys notice, like every other day, it seems like it's going just back and forth. We're playing ping pong. And this was happening last year too. I don't know if anyone was paying attention to the news in January of last year, but around the same time, this was coming up too. So a lot of people were like hesitant, like, should I, join TikTok? Should I jump in? The people that did still made lots of money. So even if things, break down this year, they still made more money than they would have if they didn't. But again, if you put all your eggs in one basket, you might be really sad right about now. So we're gonna keep an eye on it, and we'll keep you guys abreast of what's going on and when it happens. Do you want to add to that, Barack?
Yeah, so for sure, it's a very it was coming, right? People knew that the US government have some problems with TikTok. But the change, so they started to do some regulation. USA started to do some regulations, and then TikTok just announced, okay, Sunday we're off. It's not available to US
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah,
So
this weekend, guys.
that's
So
like
it's
that's like
right around
just
the
saying,
corner.
I think there is 150 million US users or something like that on
Yeah,
TikTok.
yeah, yeah.
150, and that's like just saying, hey, users, we don't care about you. You made money,
Right,
you had
right,
huge,
right. And
it
and
was a
and
full
those creators
industry.
are making them more money too. So
Yeah.
I guess whatever that amount is, they don't care that much. It's not, I guess they're not worried about it affecting their bottom line.
I think they care. I think they just I think there's a lot of politics here. I don't want to get into politics, but I feel like
Yeah,
there's
no,
a
there
lot of
definitely is
politics
a
here.
lot of politics, but I'm
Yeah.
thinking whatever it is, they're not willing to budge on it. So they're willing to
Right.
lose that revenue and
Right.
lose those customers and clients in favor of not having to deal with the US.
Right. But
That's where we're at.
but on the other side, you mentioned don't spread too thin, don't go over too
Mhm.
many platforms, but do spread. So I think that's
Yes.
always a good idea. That's what I do, and that's what I recommend to everybody. I think if you do spread, especially right now, so TikTok is changing. Go do US based. do close to home, do local,
Right.
right?
Right.
Don't go to into China, a Chinese project, and then be surprised if something changed. Like the world is
Right.
always
Right.
shifting. You should try to be legally, if not community-wise, you should try to be closer to home. I think that's the safer option. Um, you mentioned you mentioned um, um, the announcement of from TikTok, but I think we haven't talked about that. Some US endeavors right now considering trying to buy the US
Yes.
part of TikTok. So we
Yes.
have Mr. Wonderful from the Shark Tank. They have some website online. I think it's wonderfultiktok.com. And then they're talking about trying to raise funds to buy the US part of TikTok. And I think
Right.
did Elon Musk say something about that? Like did I read somewhere
You know what? I
X
wouldn't be
talking?
surprised. I'll see if I can find that while you're talking. But yeah, that would be
So maybe
awesome.
it's
Though
not the
I
end.
wonder if that's even a possibility, like with what they're doing. If they're gonna shut that all down, um, I don't know
No,
if there will be
they
a
will not
reason for
delete.
that.
They will not delete it. There's so much. It's like imagine the huge servers to hold 150 million people's videos, right? So it's
Right.
not gonna just disappear. And we'll see how it's gonna roll on this Sunday. The announcements for this Sunday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
next week we
Yeah.
will know.
So
On
be
the
paying
next
attention. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen.
Yes,
We'll have a
on the
follow
next
up.
MVP Alliance event,
Yeah,
on the
we'll have
next
a follow
AI
up
Power
on the
Hour.
next one for sure. I'll see if I
Right.
could find that quote for with Mr. Wonderful and what Elon Musk said about that. I'll take a look and see if I can find that
Yeah,
as we're going
we
along.
can worst case we can find and share the links later to
Yeah, it
to
does
the
seem like
events.
that he seems that while Elon Musk supports the plan, he doesn't think it's gonna go through. So that's kind of
Oh,
the gist
really?
of what I'm seeing on here. So and that could be. So I guess we'll know more,
We'll
if
know more next week.
if over the weekend Mr. Wonderful like decides to come up with a lot of money and an offer they can't refuse, that might change real quick. So we'll
We're
definitely
talking
give you
about
guys
hundreds
an
of
update.
billions.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Hundreds
It's
of
a
billions.
lot.
Yes,
It's a lot.
yes. It's an economy.
So yeah, we'll have a more of an update on that next week, but just keep an eye out on that, everyone, and just take a look. Another thing that we wanted to talk about, this was an article on LinkedIn, and I thought this was a really good article. It's titled AI in 2024. This was just the insights over 2024. So they wrote this at the end of December, and I thought it was really good. Some of the stuff that they talked about, because this is really what we've talked about a lot too, Barack, with MVP Alliance is that with this was the first one, first quote: artificial intelligence has become my doctor, teacher, lawyer, coach, psychologist, best friend, creative mind, financial advisor, and so much more. Was one of them. And then it also goes in talking about like how AI has made their life better and different things like that. The ability to analyze vast amount of information faster so you can get through your projects and different things like that. But overall, it came back down to, still at the end of the day, we need to use this tool for good. Use it to streamline your work, use it as your personal assistant, use it for all those different things, but use that as the baseline. We still need that human component in everything that we are doing. And as the AI revolution rolls forward and keeps moving forward, one of the big things that you guys and gals are going to notice is that while it seems initially that a lot of people are going to be like just deep diving in to AI and not caring so much about that human connection, eventually it's going to do a 180, and then people are going to miss that human connection and they're going to crave that human connection. As by nature, we're gregarious, period. Even if you're an introvert, you still want people around you from time to time, okay? Like you still need other people in your life. And what's going to happen is that's going to flip, and the people that stayed relevant in that, they're going to be the ones on top. So I highly implore everyone that's watching this, whether you're watching the replay later, that you always take these tools and know that it's helping you get to the end result faster. But at the end of the day, you are the end result. So it has to still be edited by you. It still should, reflect your voice and your creativity and your marketing message. don't lose that human connection, or you are going to regret it later down on the line. You might win right now for a little bit. You might come out of the gate really, really fast, but I promise you, in the next couple years, it's going to flip like that. And you're going to be like, man, why did I build just a whole AI business where AI is running the show and I did not keep me as a part of it? People are going to miss that and they're going to want that. And there's already people, like I know Barack's one of them, RJ is definitely one of them, I am one of them as well. And we are already looking for people that do that. As a matter of fact, if that's who you are by nature, you're like, I'm going to be using these tools for good. I want to make sure that I keep my unique message and keep the essence of who I am in my business, in my content, then you've definitely come to the right place. Make sure you guys subscribe if you find us on YouTube, or I'd say TikTok, but it may not be TikTok anymore, Instagram, Facebook, and so on and so forth. Make sure that you subscribe to our weekly live that we're doing, these webinars, and just stay abreast of what's going on, because as time goes on, there's gonna be more courses, we're building a community, and there's gonna be a home for you guys to come on board and be around like-minded individuals that are wanting to take AI and use it for good. So, do you want to add anything to that, Mr. Brock?
Yes, two things. One, as content creator, I think, you know what? I'll tell you an anecdote, right? So today I was accessing, like I'm doing some maintenance on an old site,
Mm-hmm.
you know the site, and I see back then it was a popular post, and back then you could see pick dumps. It used to be called pick dump. So where
Mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm.
like just drop 20 to 70 pictures. They're all very nice and enticing, right? And people just enjoy those. So
Mm-hmm.
you will go once a day, check out some cool pictures, like the same way you do right now on Instagram, for example.
Right, right, right.
And the posts I've seen, I swear, if I didn't know better, I say all these pictures are AI made by AI. Like immediately, that's AI, that's AI. All of them are Photoshop. It's before AI. It's like 10 years
Right,
ago,
right.
10 year old, and they're all Photoshop. And each of them were probably had like 10 to 100 hours of work on each to make them the way they are. And right now
Wow.
you can create a post like that in, I don't know, an hour, right? With
Right.
Midjourney, I don't know, Dali. You can in an hour you can create the same kind of post that back then was the very standard
Yeah.
eye-grabbing post. So so I'm just saying AI got so many uses, and some of them are even back then we used to do like just visual mindless things. And with AI it's easy to do right now.
Right, right,
But I want to engage with what you said about don't lose yourself. So if you're doing AI, don't do it mindlessly, right?
right.
Put your character in, like check out Hagai's background right now, right?
Yeah.
This is not like, hey Dali, create a background image for me.
I
Like
just wanted
even
to
our background.
say for you, I have the best like ever
You
slogan
chose.
for you. Use
I can
AI,
recognize.
use AI, but stay human. And what I
Exactly.
mean
Exactly.
is that you can use the AI tools, but you need to stay human and creative, because your own spirit and your own creativity and inner voice makes the AI be beautiful, be useful,
Exactly.
Unique.
be practical. Because if you just use it generically, you'll get
Please
like a
don't.
generic answers, and you get like,
Yeah.
okay, you can get like a nice story from ChatGPT, but if you want something that you can work with, or something which is really professional, you need to speak more and explain yourself and guide the AI to to output your voice in it, because the
Exactly.
AI is
Absolutely.
just a tool. It's a
Exactly.
great tool. It can do like millions of things, but it's a tool you operate. So you
Exactly.
need to put yourself into it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yep. You have to
So
stay human and keep
so
that
whoever,
uniqueness.
if you listen to this, make sure you get proper prompt engineering training. It doesn't have to be long or tiring, but make sure you know how to communicate that with that machine to get the best output. And then make sure you put your voice in any prompt, right? This is me. This is how I want it to sound like. This is my style. This is the style of the company I'm working for. This is the style of the company I'm representing. This is the colors we like. This is the features we like. This is the elements we like, right? And then you will have the outputs that sounds and feels like it. Then you use it, the AI, as Photoshop, as a tool, and not as the creator, the brainless creator of your brand
But
that
you
is
said
becoming
it
generic
right,
already.
Barak. Yeah, like you mentioned a really good point that we said put yourself into it, but sometimes we need to put in it the brand, not
Exactly.
just ourselves, but the brand type or
Exactly.
something
Yeah,
that
exactly. Well, that's what I mean. So a lot of the people that I'm talking to are people that they are their brand. You know what I mean? So when I say put you in
all
it, it's
businesses
putting your brand in
usually.
it. And I'll actually say that if you own a company, if your brand is not you and your brand is not you and you're not your brand, then you're not doing your brand right. So your brand should have an essence of who you are, because that's something I've talked about with Barack, is that, you know, I'm like, your website doesn't tell me who you are. Like, I don't see you in your website. You know, Barack, you're filled with light, and you're just excited and energetic. And you know, like my business partner said, the other site made him want to go to sleep, uh, basically. And so I didn't see who you were in it. And I'm like, let's bring your site alive and make it alive like you are. You're energetic, you're full of life, and that should be part of your brand, you know, because you're going to attract those same type of people into your life. So if you are a person that is has your own business, there should be some kind of connection between who you are as an individual and who your brand is. And if there's not, you're missing a big piece of the puzzle. And I promise you, a lot of people are going to be confused when they come to your site or to your content, because there's going to be a disconnect, because you are a part of that brand. So thanks for bringing that up. Definitely. Okay. Very cool. All right.
It's very deserved. All right.
Good stuff. And I
Yeah.
do like your background. It's beautiful.
When you have several entities, it's a problematic issue. What is your voice? And you have like psychiatric. Mm.
You have different voices.
Oh no, the other voice is talking now. Oh no,
Oh, well, if you don't know
the
what your
second
voice,
one.
that's a good place to start. Try to figure that
Just
part.
By the
kidding.
way, I'm sure AI can like
I was gonna say
join your
there's
voices together.
right there's
Orchestrate
a
your
AI
inner
therapist and
voices.
stuff now, so it can help you figure out what your voice is if you
Yeah.
need a little help.
Intertwine my voices, please. Please make me sound whole. Make me sound like one. It will actually. I'm not sure if it's a good idea and how one like that should be, or if they should interact with AI for that reasons. But if you do, then AI
I think it's good
could
for
make sure.
brainstorming. If you ask it, like, let's say you're like, I don't even know what the heck my brand is, right? If you use any of the tools, like ChatGPT, any of them, and you just, you know, talk to them. I know ChatGPT actually has some mini GPTs that are like literally brand consultants that help you, and it'll ask you all the questions, like, what are the colors that you like? What are the styles that you like? What are your interests, your hobbies? What's your business about? And it will deep dive. So if you're like, I don't even know where to begin. I don't know where to start. Use AI as a way to help you figure out those things. And you'll know, like when it spits stuff back at you, you'll be like, I feel like that's close, but not quite. And then you can ask it some questions and or share more details, and it will continue down that process until you drill down to the essence of what you want your message to be, what you want your voice to be, what you want your brand to be. So if you're unsure, that's a great way to do some test runs and figure those things out.
I'll add something my point of view. You should absolutely use AI to brainstorm, but maybe do some, inner looking, like meditate, right? So
Yeah.
just bring your own thing and not just the output of it. If you just ask it questions,
Oh,
you
no,
will
no,
get
no, no,
something.
no. Well, that's the whole point of what we're saying.
Right.
I don't, if you're doing your job right with AI, it's going to have the true essence of who you are. You're going to know. That's why I
Fantastic.
said, like, if you're
Good.
reading it and you're like,
Good.
this isn't it, it's because you didn't give it enough information and data. And
Good.
you should always refine that as you go. And yeah, I'm totally a believer in prayer and meditation. So everything I do, even if I'm like doing something for a client or deciding to work with a client, like I'm always praying about, should I take on this client? Should I do X, Y, and Z? Because I don't want to just do something because it seems like a good idea. I want to do something because it's my purpose to actually be working on that and doing that. So
Fantastic.
great
Wow.
point on that.
That's deep. That's a whole another
A whole nother level.
finding purpose meeting. All right. So what else do we got?
Currently, we are
So
just like summarizing text using the chatbot. But
yeah.
if you've heard about Elon Musk, he has like one of his project is a chip that is installed in a man in
Yeah,
a
I'm
real
not down for
memory.
that. I'm not
So
down for
like the
that.
next step would be to summarize your all memories, and then you
No,
can
thank
give
you.
yourself like to the chat
Opting out.
and tell, this is my context. Now, what should I do? This is me.
Let's let's
All the
let's not go
context.
there
We're
today.
not. No, we're not
Never.
doing that. I'm a guy. I love you, but I'm kicking you
Now
out right
I'm
now.
going to edit today. Sorry.
But yeah, so I'm personally not for that. I know that is coming down the road, or they're at least trying to make that happen. You will not see me signing up for that. Okay, so
So
if you're wondering right now, this is where I'm putting
Me
myself
too.
in.
Ever. Never.
it's not for us. It's not for us.
Not for us. Not for anyone that's a sentient human being. I'll just put it that
But I
way.
wanna watch this clip in 10 years, and then we'll see if we still say it's not for us. But right now, for sure, it's not for us.
Oh, I promise you, I will still be 100% not for us because I'm going by according to scripture, and nowhere in scripture can I condone that. So I'm out, guys. I promise you, I'm out. And if I'm not,
Good.
check on me because they did something with me. Okay, so
No,
if
exactly.
I
I
change
just want to see
later,
what's the
I
environment
must have
gonna
got
be like.
attacked from behind and had a chip implanted against my will. That's all I have to say
But by
about
somebody with chips, right?
right by someone, oh, that would suck.
Chip and chips.
It's gonna be the chip apocalypse. So it's like a
Fish and
chips
chips.
So
zombies
so I did want to share
controlled by AI. Anyway,
right. I did want to share another some other insights from I think it was, let me pull this up right here. Sorry guys, I lost the link real quick here. It is from adweek.com. If you guys are marketers at all that are watching this or just want to kind of stay abreast of what's going on in advertising and marketing, Adweek is amazing. I've been following that for like I think since 2000, okay, like forever and a day.
wow.
And that's because I actually went to school for advertising design, which FYI, don't waste your money. Just find out what all the books are, go get all the books, save yourself some money and study that
Right,
way. You'll learn way more on the job
right,
anyways and save
right.
yourself thousands of dollars. So it was an expensive lesson, guys. But this was one of the awesome things that I did get from that era of my life and all that money was adweek.com. And some of the main key takeaways that they had for 2024 moving into 2025 is exactly what we're talking about. And I wanted to keep sharing this because I want you guys to get this in. I want to drill it into your mind. Okay, so you don't forget. So the key takeaway was the value of human creativity. The value of human creativity. It
Right.
says David Lee emphasizes that human creativity will become increasingly valuable as AI becomes ubiquitous. Okay. So that goes back to everything that we were talking about already. So you might want to use it as the base, but then go take that project, whatever it is. It could be a video, could be an audio, could be a visual, like an image, take that and go further refine it and truly make it unique in yours. That is what is going to win as we
Oh,
move
that's so
on in
interesting.
2025 and beyond.
That's so interesting. So is that your, because I got something to add to that. Is that
Yeah.
your last news before we do the predictions for 2025?
Yes, that is the last
Okay.
news I have.
So I'm gonna connect that for you.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna connect that for the predictions. Okay. So you said human creativity gonna be important. You quoted
Adweek.
Edwick, and human creativity gonna be important as AI gonna get
Basically the norm. It's going to be the norm. It's going to be
right.
everywhere. So
Right. So I've been thinking a lot about it, right?
mhm.
So human beings have biases, right? It's bad and it's good, right? Sometimes it's help us
Right.
just understand things faster, and sometimes it's
Right.
bad because it makes us racist, right? AI actually inherent everything, all of the biases of humans, and then the big models, what they try to do is on top of the brain, which is biased and have all the problems of humanity, they started adding layers of, okay, if your answer, if what you think about in racism or any bad biases, if what you think about that is not aligned with our current norms, that's like an added layer. So don't do that anymore. So let's say, for example, they added like a variety layer. So if you ask them to create a person for you, it will change their skin colors and their style, but it doesn't necessarily in straight lines and straight relations to what actually in the world, because they try to make it just fair, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
okay, that's nice, but that's human layer. So what I'm thinking is, at some point, AI is like learning and is teaching itself, and it's teaching itself with content that AI is creating. So they're actually pushing out human biases, right? So they're clearing out biases. They're now creating very fair images, very fair content, very fair. And then all the human biases, which makes us unique and human and quirky
Right.
and wrong sometimes, but human. Because imagine compassion can be weakness as well. You are feeling sorry
Yes.
for something, so you give
Yes.
in a hand, but it's actually weaken you doing that. But that's actually strengthen the humanity. So is that a weakness? Would AI push out compassion in content creation? So
Mm.
imagine 10 years from ahead, AI is already fixing itself, and then it's pushing out all biases, all compassions, all human weaknesses. Maybe some of them are human strengths, and AI thinks it's weaknesses. And then you are still creating content, and many already using automation. Everything, half of the content in the world is created by AI. We go into the predictions part. This is how I connect for everything for you. And then you have AI creating content which is not human. Like right now, AI, like the first AI was sometimes more human than the current AIs at some things, because it had human biases. Right now, they're trying to clear those biases, and they actually make it not human anymore, like more politically correct, but humans are not. So to the predictions now. What do you think the future of
Before you
AI?
start, just about what you said, you are worried about that AI creates more and more images, but the real issue is that
Not just images and
it's not
any
just
content creation.
images and all content,
Right.
but the main issue is that uh, the man evolved to be so dominating in the world just because it's mutations. If we were all the same, we wouldn't invent anything. We wouldn't go ahead, because some of the evolution of our mind and our body is done through the small different changes that find the right mutation that can be the perfect to the right condition currently. And when you get and become like fluid and more homogeneously, you lose the ability to adapt.
Right.
And it's an issue in a lot of areas. Like you said, it's really an issue that they took all the bias too much, and they try to like change the way the real world is really happens,
Right.
goes, function, whatever.
Right. Like the same way that when you try to ask, I think it was on DAL-E, but correct me if I'm wrong. When you at some point, if you ask him for a picture of a Nazi, it will create you an Asian Nazi or a black Nazi, for
When
example.
you ask for a couple, when you just ask for a picture of a couple, you get like 70% of the time a lesbian couple or two guys kissing, and
So
Yes,
not
so
which
you
is
can see it's
not a
an
male and a
added layer.
female. You get more than 50% of the
no, no,
time,
I agree with
not
that
male
guy.
and
That was one
like
of the
that.
things that we noticed when we were working on some AI video creation for one of our music clients. And we're like, we did not, like, what is going on? Like, we're not asking for this. Why are we getting this? Another thing that I think will be a challenge too is with AI, with what we're talking about. One of the other things that we've noticed was, we talk about health and wellness, fitness a lot in our business and stuff like that. If I want AI to create someone that's overweight, it won't do it. Not the majority of the tools that are out there right now. It's like, nope, can't do that. And it's like, but that's not reality. Like, I'm not trying to fat shame someone. I'm trying to show what an unhealthy body
I
looks
know
like
we had the same
versus,
issues with one
going through
campaign.
this process. So you're right. There's like this weird gatekeeping stuff that's going on, and like, very specific agendas that are going on. And it's like, if I'm asking for X, Y, and Z, I should be able to get X, Y, and Z. I had another situation with Canva. I was working, I usually use Leonardo when I'm doing some of my background images for virtual spaces and stuff like that, but I was just kind of curious. I'm like, let me just see if I can make something similar or see if it does it as good in Canva. I was just curious. I always like to play around with these different tools. And one, it wouldn't let me say Persian rug.
Wow.
Somehow that was against their community standards. I'm like, but I want a Persian rug. Like, I don't want just any rug. I want specifically a Persian rug. So I think that this
You racist?
yeah, somehow, yeah, right. Okay, like seriously, like whatever. Yeah, part Persian over here, but whatever. Apparently I'm racist because I want a Persian rug.
This is
Okay.
something that
So
Elon Musk tried to fight with Grok.
yeah,
And
yeah. Yeah, so that definitely is a
And
big
Stable
problem.
Diffusion
The
and
censorship, the trying to take away the human characteristics that are real. There's different body types, right? There's different size people. There's different all kinds of people. And if I'm asking for something specific, it should not be automatically assumed I'm being racist or discriminatory. It should be able to take it within context of what I'm asking for, which in that case was a specific style of room that I was creating.
I know, I
Uh,
know.
so
so,
imagine
so
I'm
that.
an
I see that
enthusiast,
being an
a
issue.
jailbreaker. I really enjoyed all of the time to
Yeah,
jailbreak. So because of doing that, I started noticing more and more where the lines go now. Like every time they change the line, they change the line, they change the line.
right.
No, now I really we have very little time for the full 1 power hour. So I really want us to be able to give some hands-on, make sense, practical predictions for social media, which
Yeah.
is the reason we gathered here
So
for
I
for
think I
2025.
think I think in 2025, the biggest thing that's going to happen is that you're going to see that the people that are using AI for, like what we talked about this whole episode, for good, they're keeping their uniqueness, they're keeping their humanity as a part of it. Those are going to be the winners. I also think that the companies that stop like creating all these restrictions on us being able to show the difference between an overweight and a fit body or things like that, these are the people that are going to actually come up on top by probably mid to end of 2025, because people are going to be like getting annoyed, as they start using more of these tools and they're finding out these limitations. Like it's like we're toddlers and we have these like guardrails on, and you're like, take the training wheels off. Like, I don't need them. Like, and so I think that the companies that are being more transparent, being more real, being more effective and efficient, they're the ones that are going to win in the AI tools. But also the individuals and the companies and the entrepreneurs that are doing the same thing. They're taking these things and they're not just like literally putting out a full AI campaign where you don't see them or any kind of remote human being ever. Those people are going to eventually start dwindling away. So I think in 2025, the biggest thing is be efficient, be effective, show up, know what your voice is, know what you want to actually show up as your brand and as your image, and then take these tools and help you fight against the big guys that have tons of people on their team. Because if anything, if we use these tools right, they're going to help us to be able to make more money, find the right people in our businesses, and be able to show up a lot faster and efficient, which means we have more time for our families and more time to do other things besides just be a part of our business. So I think that's where we're going in 2025. More efficiency, more effectiveness, more humanity, more real.
I really like that. I'll try to group it into two things I really appreciate, and then I have questions for you. Okay,
Yep.
you ready? So let's say the two groups I found from what you said, like the most prominent. One is if you're a company, big company, a power user that is creating artistic content with AI, like the
Yes.
best AI videos, the best AI music, the special clips where you put some great editing, some human into it. If you create a great AI content, not just an image auto created with auto poster, if you create a great AI content, then those gonna pop up. And then on the other hand, if you create, okay, so the reason TikTok is doing so great, right? It's vlogging, it's personal vlogging, it's very authentic. So if you create authentic content, you can then push in some AI, right? You can do AI effects, AI intro, outro, utilize the AI to push it, to personalize it, but create a authentic content, you're still gonna push well. So to my questions, which tools, or you know what, which kind of tools and on which platform we're gonna succeed doing that, right? Like, should we use video creation tools and use platform like YouTube, or are we gonna find a replacement for TikTok and do like video effects or image creation on Instagram? What do you think?
So
What's
I
gonna be
think it's going to be a
big?
combination of both of those, because YouTube is still very, very relevant. And kind of like what you're seeing with Facebook, we forgot to mention how Facebook's backpedaling, right, on their fact checkers. I use that term very loosely because I've posted tons of things that were
Facts.
factual that they told me were not. And there's no way to fight them except for
It's a
say I
subjective
disagree,
facts,
and they do
right?
nothing about it. So so I'm really excited to see what happens. I don't think it's fully in effect yet because I still got one of the little fact checker things this past week on a health and wellness post that I was sharing. But I'm really interested to see what happens. And I think this goes back to, I don't know if anyone saw our good old buddy Mark Zuckerberg talking about this, but you could tell he's just backpedaling. Why? Because people are pushing back. And the reality is if people would have left that platform like in droves sooner, he would have backpedaled sooner. Because at the end of the day, he is a for-profit business, right? So if us as the consumers realize that we have the ability to shift these platforms and be able to make changes, that in itself is huge and very powerful. So moving forward with 2025, I definitely see YouTube is still going to be very relevant. I've seen people, especially like I'll tell you right now, here's a hot niche, and it's not just on YouTube, TikTok as well. But again, let's see what happens after Sunday. I can't recommend, don't go create an account right now. If you're in the US, it might just be completely pointless. But on TikTok as well as YouTube, one of the channels that are blowing up right now are the 40 plus and 50 plus age range, because there's a lot of people in that range that are looking for people like them to teach them about how to market, how to make content
Interesting.
creation, how to run a business, different things like that. So, and at the end of the day, when I look at a lot of the videos that and channels that are popping off in those topics, they're people that are keeping it very real. Sure, they have a little bit of lighting sometimes. They make sure that their microphone
Interesting.
sounds good, that their camera, isn't too grainy and ridiculous looking. But at the end of the day, all of their content that I'm seeing are the ones that are really taking off. They're not having a bunch of flashy stuff. Maybe they have an intro and outro, that kind of stuff, but they're not having a bunch of different effects throughout their video, and they're keeping it very simple, and they're showing up being authentically themselves. So I see the people that are going to be doing that, they're going to be the winners, whether it's on something like TikTok or any other platform, because even Instagram allows you to do videos and stuff like that too. So any of the people that are showing up, being real, they're the ones that are going to win in 2025. And I would just say Instagram is still relevant. Definitely Facebook, I have a love-hate relationship with. They have put me down in the algorithms because of their fact checkers. So I can't really condone them, but as of right now, maybe you should still be there, and we'll kind of just like put a pin in that and revisit that at another time. But if you want to get more active in engagement, Pinterest, amazing, amazing way for you to be able to get relevant people looking at your content.
I like Pinterest.
YouTube, amazing. Also, highly recommend that whether you're doing long form content or shorts. I personally recommend a combination of those. And if you do some lives as well, that is also great, like a Q&A and stuff, like once a week and stuff for your audience, depending on your content. It might not make sense, you know, but for a lot of people's content, it would make sense to do that. And then, like you said, Instagram, TikTok, we'll just leave a question mark there. If you're not in the US, though, jump on. So, there you go.
If
Okay,
I might
that's great.
add, well, you're right. I agree with you with most stuff, but I think that the main issue that as a marketer you have to see in front of you is your target audience. It's the main issue. It doesn't matter because TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and whatever and Pinterest, they are all might change and they are just like one of the funnels you use
Well,
to
they
market.
think, yeah, I was gonna say,
But,
that's why we talked about don't
but
be on
the
just one
main issue
platform.
is like your target audience. If you
Yeah,
sell to young people, you should use TikTok because, of course, because this is their main audience, and you should spread your marketing to different channels according to your target audience.
yeah.
This
No,
is the main
absolutely.
issue.
But I'm gonna just gonna say, Hagai, what you don't realize is there's tons of people, like that's one of the things that people have been laughing about in the 40 plus range is that they were told TikTok is just for the young people, but there's tons of people in the 30, 40s, and 50s that are on there, and they're the ones usually buying a lot of the stuff on
No,
there. So
and
I'm
what
gonna
I
say, if your
I
brand is for that target market,
no, you're
still
right.
jump on there.
What I meant is different. I meant that you should think of your target audience when creating content, either
Well, Hagar,
images
I think
or
that's just a
videos
given.
or
If you're
text,
not
and
if you're
then
not doing that, then you don't even have a brand. You know,
what?
that's part of
I
the branding message, right? Like
Okay.
I'm hoping that no one on here is just thinking that everyone is their target market, right? I think the people watching this are a little bit smarter than that. I could be wrong, but I'm throwing that out there in good faith that you all know that your target market has to be part of your branding, right? Okay, so that's a
I'll
given.
chime in. I'll
Period.
chime in. I'll chime in. I think what Hagai is trying to say is you should choose your platform depends on your
Yeah.
target audience. So if you want professional audience, go LinkedIn. If you want younger audience, go to the newest platforms, TikTok, right?
No, I agree with that. But what you guys don't understand is the crossover that's happening on all those platforms. I used to think the same thing about LinkedIn. Oh, it's only for people that are looking for work and this and the other. And it has completely changed. And now
Yes,
I'm
yes,
starting to work on adding that into my marketing mix
right.
for our Kung Fu martial arts site and stuff like that. So what people don't understand, unless you're like talking to children, then, you know, maybe YouTube, a child's channel, that kind of stuff like that. But if you're dealing with people 18 to 80 something years old, almost everyone is in these platforms now, whether
For
it's
sure,
Pinterest or
for
whatever.
sure.
So there's not as much. I would agree with you, like what you guys are saying. If this was like several years ago, the platforms were a little bit more specific on who to do that for, but now they're coming all more collaboratively for these large age ranges. And with our even with our martial arts, like our channel, like our people are from 18 all the way up into their 80s.
Right.
So like I always tell people that people are like, oh, so like, you know, what's your age group? Anyone that wants to learn kung fu for
Everyone with the
life.
pulse.
No, I meant something else.
If
You
you can
missed me
walk.
a bit, Jamie.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that you should like generate content to TikTok if you are younger. I meant you should think of your content for your
Yes,
target
absolutely.
audience,
Yeah.
like independent of the channels. This is the first thing, and
Hmm.
the other thing is that when you create content, a lot of time. Okay, I missed it. Never mind. I thought
Okay,
of something else, but
I wanna chime in for quickly. So I'll tell you something because I haven't finished before. So I think you should choose your platform based on your target audience. Of course, always look
Yes.
for where your
Yes.
target audience are. But current social media platforms, they have very strong algorithm. What I
Yes, they
mean
do.
by that is that no matter who you are, because there are so many people on them. If you're a
Yeah.
kid, you'll get kids content. If you're an adult, you'll get adult content. If you're a female, you'll get female content. If you're a male, I don't know, whatever split you're fit in, you'll get
Yeah.
a very dedicated content to you, because that's what they do. They're very they're splitting it very smart to fit just your. They try to get your
Right. And
eyeballs.
then
So
No, no,
based
what
on
I
the stuff
meant,
that
I
you're
remember
searching on
what
a
I
regular
meant.
basis, they start throwing you more of that content based on the keywords and everything. Yep.
The
okay,
thing
Hagai,
I
short,
meant
because I have
that
two quick
when you
three
target on
questions
your
for you.
when you focus on your target audience, it doesn't mean it doesn't matter the channel, because in each channel you should think where your target audience goes to. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I'm in Facebook, I have forums and groups that relate to my business. When I'm in
Right.
Instagram, this is what I meant. No matter what channel, in this channel, look for the right forums or blogs or
Or
rooms or
tags,
Right.
people
right?
that connected
Sure.
to your target audience, so you could be there, talk to them, and promote,
Absolutely.
like,
Yep.
not directly, but indirectly, your business and your thoughts and your authority in the area.
Oh,
That's
Okay.
what I
absolutely.
meant.
Yep.
More than a channel.
Now to wrap
Absolutely.
it
Totally
up,
agree with
I'm
that.
gonna three question you. So you got like 20 seconds each. I'm gonna ask the question and then I will
No
let you answer.
pressure. No
Okay?
pressure,
Go
guys.
ahead.
No pressure. Okay. So the most interesting, emerging, not standard social media platform for 2025. The guys, Jamie's excuse yourself. You go first.
The what? The
The
most?
most interesting new social media platform for 2025.
X. X,
It's
and
not. It's
X-based.
ancient
It's
and
old, but it's gonna rise up,
it's
I
changing.
think,
All right.
in some
Interesting.
way. Because
Jamie.
Elon Musk want to make X into an all app like WeChat, like the Chinese WeChat. And when he do that, he is going to add a Gmail and more like social things. It will
Super
take
interesting.
2 years.
I tried
I
Grok for the
think
first
it's
time
going
today.
there.
Oh, did
So
you? How was
yes.
it?
He's funny. It's funny. He is funny, right? It's funny. So we'll discuss it the other time because we are short now, but I do want your prediction. So most interesting emerging platform, social media platform, Jamie.
So, I'm not so sure about this one, but it's been on a lot of people's minds lately, and so it's one that I'm personally keeping an eye on. But I don't want to make any predictions yet because I haven't joined it yet. But a lot of people are talking about Blue Sky, mainly because they're saying it's kind of like how things were back in the day before there was all these corrections and all these different things and all these guardrails that we've been talking about all night long. So it's supposedly a place where you can really talk freely. I'm going to put a pin in it because, I haven't tested it out personally, but I would say that is one of the biggest ones being talked about right now. That's an up and
Very,
coming.
very interesting. It's one of my choices. You wanna hear my choices?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Blue Sky was I like the concept of Blue Sky. I think I'll give more. I'm cheating. So I think Truth Social, because I don't know if you know, but Trump is the most searched for person ever in the history of Google, right? So the ever, not Taylor Swift, not I don't know
Well,
whoever.
Truth Social is
Trump.
definitely more niche specific, like where I
Yeah,
think
but
the other
I think
ones
it's gonna get
everyone
traction.
in the world will join. Yeah.
Yes, for sure, for sure. But I think it's gonna get some traction. So interesting, right? I said
Mhm.
interesting, and I think my choice would be some kind of joker, because if TikTok's gonna bounce, somebody gonna take those people somewhere, and that's not gonna be
Right.
the old ones where the parents already at. Because the way social media goes, you go in, your parents come in, you left to the next one. It doesn't matter if it's better or worse, because you just need to leave, right? So you can't share any more of those pictures when your parents there. So you leave, you go to the next one. So social media is bound to change and roll.
Kids, I'm just gonna put a disclaimer out there. If you're sharing stuff you would not want your parents to see, don't share it because it never goes away.
Yes,
Someone
but when you're
somewhere downloaded
16,
it, baby.
you're doing
Don't do
that.
it.
Don't tell
Don't
me
do
that.
it.
I'm not even on social media. You just told me about it, so I know. But yeah. So Anyway, I
So
think
yeah, I would say that who's going to come on top in 2025, I think that's going to be an unknown with this TikTok news. I think that's going to leave some room for someone to come out the gates swinging. So
right
we'll leave that one to be determined, I think is a good one to leave that at.
to the Power Hour December.
So
All
what's your
right.
other question?
Oh no, no, that was my three questions. I think I had another one, right? I said two questions, right?
Hmm.
Well, I'm showing my age right now. I don't know what it was. Do you want to summarize and aim to
Yeah.
any practical tip from what we learned today?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we covered a lot today. Obviously, we talked about the news with TikTok and how we need to be listening out if you're in the US, especially, like pay attention on Sunday, Monday. I'm sure we're going to have more news coming out at that time. So, we'll definitely follow up with everyone next week. I know RJ, I believe, is going to be back. So she'll be here in the spot that I'm warming up for her for next week. So you guys will find out from RJ and Barack what is going on with TikTok in the United States for sure. And we
Thursdays,
talked about,
MVP days.
yes, Thursdays are
Thursdays,
MVP
MVP days.
days. Yes,
Yes,
AI Power Hour, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, mark those on your calendar every week. Just know that's where we're going to be. We're going to be here with you guys and gals.
with
And
hats.
I'll be behind the scenes if I'm not physically here. So but I will be here in some way, shape, or form, helping the team out. So another thing that we really hit home about is what is AI going to look like in 2025? Really, it's going to come down to keeping it real. The companies that are going to rise above are the ones that are going to actually be ethical, the ones that are making sure to not lose that human touch and connection, and are going to allow people to actually, make the content that they're trying to make. And a lot of times not for nefarious reasons, believe it or not. So I think that's really going to help people. And then staying on brand, knowing your message, what is your voice, making sure your brand reflects who you are as an individual. And like Hagai said, making sure that you know who your target market is, which really should be a part of your branding. As you're creating your branding voice and your message, that should be who you're figuring out. Who is your target market? Some people, it's going to be, a small age range. And for some people, it's going to be a wider one. It just really depends on your niche and stuff like that. And I'm sure as time goes on, we'll probably have different, speakers and maybe even some classes talking about how people can really drill that down. So if you want any help on that, or you guys interested in us talking more about your target market, your brand, your voice, all that stuff, how you can use AI to help you figuring that out without losing who you are, definitely let us know. We would love to
Yes,
hear from you guys and gals what different topics you would like us to talk about with AI and all that good stuff. So that's the big stuff for 2025. Don't lose yourself in AI. Make AI a tool that you use for good. Make sure you use AI as your assistant, as the base, but you're going to be the one that's finishing it because at the end of the day, you are the creator. So thank you, guys and
that's your
gals, for,
caption.
yeah,
That's your caption.
you like that?
Yes. Don't lose yourself to AI.
Don't lose
Yes.
yourself to AI.
The
You are
caption
the
for
creator.
2025. I like
Bam.
that.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
All right.
make sure you guys stay authentic, stay real, and let's move forward, kicking some butt together. If you love some of the stuff we've been sharing here, make sure to share this on your favorite social media sites. We'd really appreciate it. Stay tuned and let us know how we can serve you. We are MVP Alliance. Peace.
Is
You
that an
remember?
M? I'm trying to think of a symbol we can do like
Well, I don't know. I kind of like this, but yes.
look at that guy. All right. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.